Bruce Dickinson goes old school, except assemble Avengers. And Metallica finally doing something we've all been waiting for. Metal is life and well, so let's see what keeps it going today. Here we go. Except go all in. Accept are preparing something extraordinary for their die-hard fans to celebrate the band's 50th anniversary this year. The legendary German heavy metal masters announced a very special release that will see the light of day on September 4th via Napalm Records, a compilation titled Teutonic Titans 1976-2026. Yet, of course, it will not be just a compilation of Accept's iconic hits. All of those songs will be re-recorded with quite a guest list. All in all, the compilation will feature 50 superstars from all over the world, among whom will be nobody else but the metal god himself, Rob Halford, and his former bandmate KK Downing, Metallica's Kirk Hammett, Scorpions' Matthias Jobs and Mickey D, Pantera's Phil Anselmo, Blind Guardian's Hansi Kirsch, Primal Fear's Ralph Shepard, Nevermore's Jeff Loomis, Overkill's Bobby Blitz, and gazillion other incredible musicians, all of whom will be paying tribute to, well, I'm gonna be honest with you, one of the most influential European heavy metal bands in history. Because, you know what? If it was not for Accept, I honestly have no idea whether heavy metal would have been able to grow as much as it did in Germany and in Europe back in the 1980s. So yeah, despite the whole fact that I usually am quite indifferent to such kind of compilations, when it comes to this one, and especially given the incredible list of guest superstars on it, and the whole fact that Accept was one of my dad's favorite bands, and it was through Accept that I actually got introduced to heavy metal, among other bands, I'm actually ridiculously excited about this one. And I simply cannot wait to hear how some of those incredible old classic songs will be reimagined with somebody like Rob Halford behind the microphone. And here, guys, once again, I have to point out that the entourage of this video is slightly different from our regular ones because, well, I'm once again recording it while being on the road from a hotel room, but nevertheless, I simply have to point out that only around 30% of the people who watch my videos are actually subscribed to this channel. So if you're not one of those, and especially if you don't hate me recording these videos for you from basically anywhere these days, I would absolutely appreciate it if you would consider subscribing right now. Let's continue building this amazing heavy metal community together. Chuck Billy does it as well. Thrash metal legends Testament's frontman Chuck Billy follows the footsteps of Dave Mustaine, Alice Cooper, and like gazillion other metal musicians who announced their memoirs this year. Yes! This week, Chuck finally announced his long-awaited memoir, titled Holding My Breath, The Two Testaments of Chuck Billy, that will see the light of day on November 10th this year. According to Chuck, this will be not a regular memoir, like all the other memoirs that were announced recently, and which of course is exactly what you would expect an author to say about his upcoming book. But nevertheless, this one will actually consist of two parts named Old Testament and New Testament, with the first one telling the story of the birth of Bay Area thrash metal, the formation of Testament, and Chuck's way to becoming one of the most iconic voices in metal. Which, by the way, is 100% true. And the second part of the book will actually be more personal and a bit more painful, telling the story of Chuck's battle with cancer and the legendary Thrash of the Titans benefit concert that turned rivals into brothers on their mission to help Chuck and reignite the flame of thrash metal. And in addition to that, the book will actually also feature the foreword by nobody else but metal god Rob Halford himself, and the afterword by Randy Blythe from Lamb of God, and is actually positioned as a very special and personal gift to all of the die-hard Testament fans who have been with this band and with Chuck Billy through everything in the past 4 decades. And you know what? Please and thank you, Chuck. Yes, I am actually really excited to read this one, as I've always considered Testament to be one of the greatest thrash metal bands on the planet, and I am more than sure that Chuck Billy has quite a lot to tell all of us die-hard metal fans. And here, a huge shout out and a thank you to all my patrons and all the YouTube channel members. Guys, it is thanks to you and thanks to everyone who purchases Metal Pilgrim merch that I'm able to record these videos for you. So thank you guys from the bottom of my heart. Even more Kerry King. Legendary Slayer mastermind Kerry King gives even more to his loyal die-hard fans, as this week the guitarist announced a special extended deluxe edition of his debut album From Hell I Rise, which will be released on June 19th this year via Rain and Phoenix Music, and will of course feature previously unreleased material. But the coolest thing about this release, at least in my opinion, is not even the songs we haven't heard before, but rather the demos, which it will apparently feature, and which will offer a rare window into Kerry King's creative process, featuring scratch vocal performances of the songs we all know by nobody else but Kerry King himself, something that will be heard outside of the studio for the very first time ever. Well, in addition to gazillion other things, like additional photos and a bonus live CD and Blu-ray of Kerry's first show at Raggie's in Chicago, as well as all the other cool perks that usually come with deluxe editions. Which it looks like is simply a must-have for you if you are a Slayer or a Kerry King fan. Metallica reloads. Metallica finally announced something that many fans actually expected them to do last year. A massive ReLoad Remastered Deluxe box set coming out on June 26th, continuing their tradition of celebrating their entire discography one album at a time. And this one, of course, is not going to be yet another simple reissue. We're talking about a full deep dive into the 1997-1998 era, with unreleased demos, rough mixes, live recordings, TV appearances, and a huge amount of behind-the-scenes material, with the box itself including 15 CDs, 4 DVDs, vinyl, memorabilia, and a 128-page book. So basically everything from the ReLoad era packed in one release. Yes, I know that ReLoad is one of the most divisive albums in Metallica's entire discography, but at the same time, I've always absolutely loved it. And I love it in its entirety. And although, yeah, I do understand that that era of Metallica was rather complicated, to me, it was the first current Metallica album that I was able to buy with my own money back in the day. So it has always held a very special place in my heart. And you know what? I actually do not own any other Metallica box set, even of my absolute favorite Metallica record, Ride the Lightning. But when it comes to this one, I actually think that I will do everything I can to get it in my hands. Because in addition to everything, ReLoad is actually one of the most mysterious Metallica records to date. And although Master of Puppets and all the other classic Metallica records have been spoken of quite extensively off in the past, with us being able to trace every little demo they've ever recorded, ReLoad has never been able to get that same treatment as all of the classic Metallica records did. So I'm extremely, and I mean extremely excited to deep dive and understand how Metallica composed those riffs and how they transformed from what apparently was extremely aggressive record to the record we know ReLoad for today. So yes, Metallica, thank you for this. Although, come on, I still don't get it. How the flip you decided to not release it last year in honor of its actual 30th anniversary. Megadeth Ride the Lightning. And talking about Metallica, well, almost Metallica. Megadeth has finally officially played Ride the Lightning live, and not once, but twice during their shows in Bogota this week. And here's the thing. Yeah, I know that this song is all about closing the full circle for Dave Mustaine himself, and I really respect this, but as I said in my review of Megadeth's latest studio out, but while I do understand it, and while I do respect it, and actually do enjoy it, I felt like this release was rather unnecessary musically, meaning it did not bring anything extraordinary new to the table compared to the original version of Ride the Lightning recorded by Metallica. But hearing this song live, I gotta say that the Megadeth version freaking slays! And I honestly cannot wait to witness it being performed live, by myself, hopefully this summer. And now the time has come for your favorite part of the video, so let's take a look at 5 latest metal releases from this week, which, although did not get their own segments in this video, are definitely worthy of your attention. American metal band Sevendust released one via Napalm Records, marking their 15th studio album. This record was produced once again by Michael Elvis Basket, continuing a long-running collaboration that has defined their modern sound. British metal pioneers Venom released Into Oblivion via Noise BMG, their 16th studio record. The current trio of Kronos, Rage and Dante have now been together for over 15 years, which is actually one of the longest stable periods in Venom's history. That stability is reflected in the record, leaning fully into their classic raw and aggressive style without trying to modernize it. American band Down released Right Place, Wrong Time, a cover of the Dr. John track timed around the Mardi Gras season, and marking the band's first brand new recording in several years, with the accompanying video being directed by Mike Holderbeast. Swedish rock band Europe released One on One and announced the new album Come This Madness, scheduled for September 25th via Silver Lining Music. The album was recorded in Stockholm and produced by Tom Dalgetty, with mixing handled by Mike Fraser. It will be the band's 12th studio album and will be their first since 2017. Azaghal released Satana Olen Miyakasi, the second single and first official music video from their upcoming album Necrohelios. The album is due on May 29th, 2026 via Immortal Frost Productions and will be the band's 13th full-length studio record, which actually makes this band one of the most productive ones in the black metal scene ever. The Poison reunion drama. To be or not to be, the Poison Reunion Edition. Yes, this week Bret Michaels has once again spoken out about the possibility of a Poison reunion, and it looks like Poison fans might actually not have to wait for that long for it to happen. Or do they?
Raise your hands! Yes, it does! 1, 2...
According to Michaels' interview with New York radio station Q104.3, the door for a major Poison tour in the near future is still open. But there is a little but at the moment. He's actually currently on tour with his solo project and he absolutely loves it, which doesn't leave him much time for a Poison gig. And just a reminder, previous time Michaels has spoken about it, he actually did point towards 2027 as a possible year for the Poison reunion tour, that apparently was supposed to be tied to the band's debut album's Look What the Cat Dragged In 40th anniversary. Which already was kinda strange given the whole fact that that album was actually released in 1986 and not 1987. But nevertheless, now it actually seems that 2027 doesn't actually look like a feasible year for a Poison reunion, and they will most likely go on tour, if they will go on tour of course, in 2028 and not earlier. Which of course would be a huge bummer for all of the diehard Poison fans. So I actually do hope that Bret Michaels and the rest of the crew bury all the hatchets and finally reunite and go on tour next year, in honor of their debut album's 41st anniversary. Benediction Scare. Disturbing news came from the camp of the legendary British death metal band Benediction, as this week they announced that their longtime vocalist Dave Ingram will not be joining the band on the future Spanish shows. According to the band's statement, due to ongoing health problems, Ingram cannot travel to Spain and will remain in Denmark, where his health situation will be monitored by the doctors. Yet, nevertheless, the band themselves will still embark on the tour without Ingram, with Oscar Rilo filling in for Dave on all 3 of the shows in Spain. And the band, of course, promising that all of the fans who will be attending those shows will definitely not miss out on anything. But the most interesting thing is that this is actually by far not the only problem in the Benediction camp. As just a reminder, bassist Nick Sampson left Benediction earlier this year, with Steve Hill filling in for him as a session musician on this tour. So I guess technically on the Spanish leg of the tour, Benediction will be performing without 2 of their permanent members. But on behalf of all the metal pilgrims around the world, we of course do wish Dave all the best. And we all hope for his speedy recovery and a swift return to stage. Cause yeah, in my opinion, the previous Benediction album simply kicks ass, and as many people as possible should be able to witness it live. Bruce Dickinson goes anti-AI. Bruce Dickinson has finally revealed a bit more information about his new solo studio album, the follow-up to the Mandrake project. And apparently, the way he recorded it was very Bruce Dickinson. Let's go! So, first and foremost, according to Bruce, the guys have already recorded 16 brand new tracks in just 21 days that will appear on the brand new album that apparently will be released sometime in 2027. But the coolest thing is how they actually did it. As according to the only air raid siren I'm always happy to hear, it was done in the most old school way possible. 100% live in the studio, with Bruce calling this approach a basically anti-AI generation. I hear the truth to sit in judgment on myself. The album was recorded at Dave Grohl's Studio 606 with the touring band, and while it's not expected until 2027, Bruce is clearly hyped about the material, describing it as everything from bone-crushing heavy metal to emotional and soulful music. And you know what? I'm actually really excited to hear that one, because, well, first of all, the Mandrake project has grown a lot on me since its release. And I'm serious. I mean, I enjoyed the album when it was first released, but if I'm being very honest, after a couple of first listens, I, forgot about it. Until recently, I decided to rediscover it once again, just to find out that it has actually opened up from a completely different angle to me personally. And so now that Bruce has, gained a bit more of confidence after the release of the Mandrake project, which, just as a reminder, came out 17 years after the release of his previous solo studio album, I'm actually really excited to see what new stuff Bruce and the guys have come up with on this one. Although, yes, it will be somewhat weird and strange to hear a brand new Bruce Dickinson record without the involvement of Roy Z in it. Although, at the same time, that actually might be an indicator that it will, in fact, be, just as described by Bruce, one of the most experimental records he's ever done in his solo career. But anyways, what new music did you listen to this week? Please let us know in the comments. As always, thank you so much for watching this video, guys. Please don't forget to like it, comment under it, of course, subscribe to this channel and spread the word about it. And join our communities on Instagram, X, Threads, Discord, Facebook. I mean, anywhere you can post content these days. Thank you guys so much, and we will prevail. Slava Ukraini!